Mr. and Mrs. Cupcake want to have their cake and eat it. They have a successful business, but in order to expand overseas, they need some cash behind them. A normal bank loan won't cut it, as it's too risky and complicated for a high street bank to deal with. And floating on the stock exchange would require them to be a much bigger player, and they're not there yet. But there is another way. Meet Mrs. Finance. Mrs. Finance's job as a private markets investor is to invest in or acquire non-listed businesses or assets, transform them significantly, and sell them. And luckily, she loves cake. Who doesn't? And the food industry is her speciality when it comes to investments. But to help these businesses grow, she needs time, usually 6 to 9 months to get to know the business. Doing this due diligence helps her understand the company and value, and she can come up with a plan on how to grow, improve, refocus, or expand the business. At the end of the day, she'll be rewarded when Mr. and Mrs. Cupcake execute the plans and the business thrives. There are many different ways an investor can invest in private companies. Mrs. Finance basically buys a stake in a company in exchange for cash. Early on in a startup, it's called venture capital. For developing a profitable business, it's called growth equity. And for a more mature company looking for new owners, a leveraged buyout is common. In that case, Mrs. Finance uses debt to acquire the business, just like she would to buy real estate. But what if you don't know the industry, but the opportunity appeals? Well, you can team up with like-minded investors and pool your capital into a private market fund. Mrs. Finance will invest it for you as a fund manager by applying her expertise and know-how to select the most promising opportunities, lead the transformation, and sell, hopefully generating significant profit. Not only will you get a share of the profits, but you can also benefit from the diversification, as the fund will be spread across several different projects. You can pick and choose funds to tailor your exposure to different regions, industries, and company development stages. Mrs. Finance will be paid for this work through a combination of recurring management fees to pay her salary and performance fee, called carried interest, to pay her bonus. But with private markets, patience is a virtue. They need on average 4 to 6 years to transform and sell. Since investments will not all happen at the same time, funds will usually be created for 10 years. Mrs. Finance will progressively deploy the capital as she selects investments and will give you back the proceeds as she sells them. The resulting fund outflows and inflows, once accumulated over time on a graph like this, will draw a curve in the shape of a J, the J curve, which shows the initial investment and the potential resulting inflows. Since Mrs. Finance will give you back the proceeds of the investment she did for you, she'll regularly come back to you to create new funds and collect fresh capital. You will then have the choice to commit to her new fund if you're happy with her results with Cupcake & Co. So whatever way they decide to secure their backing, Mr. and Mrs. Cupcake can get baking. And thanks to Mrs. Finance, they can all have their cake and eat it, even you.